Hello. Happy Wednesday, everybody. You know what I realized? The way that we're doing this, I don't have the YouTube channel up. I can't see who's on and what's happening. We're going
I'm
to do
just
that
getting
right
mine
now.
going. Me too.
Well, perfect. I
I
love
got
it.
it.
There, everyone.
Wow. I got Paul Natoli. I got Cindy Kopich. I got JT, James Taylor on. I've got
Got
Kat
Sudan. We
Frazier.
got we got
Oh,
Aaron and
Lisa
Paul. We got
McCloskey, Dana Dilly, Ted Vicky.
Lee,
Oh, yeah.
everybody. Jackie Vaughn. I love it. Perfect. Well, hello, everyone. I'm going to just put this little phone right here so I can see the chat.
Yeah, I know. I
I
can't.
love it.
Mine's not going to do that.
It's okay. Well, as you guys
What's
can see,
going on,
Shawn and I
everybody?
are in, huh?
So what's going on, everybody? I'll let you take the lead. You're there in Indiana and have, I think, better internet, it feels like.
I think you have better net. I think we both just look a little bit laggy because we're on side by side. So, but yeah, hi everyone. Super excited to have you here on Shawn and Lacey Live. As you can see, we are in different homes. Shawn's in Florida. I am in Indiana. He gets to go to a wonderful VIP dinner in Miami with David Meltzer. And I get to hang out here and finally see Dexter because it's been 15 days. So sorry, David Meltzer. Dexter won this one. That's all I got. And golf is better in Florida. Not right now though, Ted Vicky, because it is like very hot there, right, Shawn? I mean, it's pretty warm. It's humid. Everybody's saying it's pretty gross. It's hotter than normal this time of year. So even though golf is better, the weather is not. That's all I have to say. I love it.
Yes, everybody, this is live. Welcome to Shawn and Lacey Live. You guys know the drill. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and listen. Make sure that you share this transmission with your friends. Share, tell somebody right now, send a text, send an email, send something. Post this on your social media. Let your friends know that Shawn and Lacey are live. Even though they're not sitting next to each other, they are live. We began the morning in New York City, coming off of an amazing couple of days there. We had an oversold VIP dinner. Man, was that an amazing opportunity. We had so many people there at Catch Steak, New York City. Catch New York City. Oh boy, did they show out. Amazing food. Everybody was raving about the desserts. And then the next night, we had a tremendous experience of going to Raos. Man, if you don't know what Raos is, Raos, not the sauce. Well, it is the sauce, the people that make the sauce. But you got to check
And
out
everybody
Raos
calls
Restaurant in.
Yeah, everybody calls it rouse, so that's why they don't know Raos. Most everybody's like, "Oh, the sauce, rouse," because that's what it looks like. That's how it's spelled, but it's actually called Raos. So if you've seen the sauce, that sauce is probably one of the number one pasta sauces everywhere. I mean, it's in every single store. It's in Costco's and Sam's Clubs. I think they ended up selling that sauce company for just a little measly, like $1.2 billion or something like that. But yeah, we got to go to the restaurant and there was only a total of what, like 50 people in there because it's such limited seating. It was a phenomenal
I believe
evening.
there's I believe there's 9 tables, so please do not add that. Well, you add it to your bucket list, but don't add it to your list of places to show up at next time you're in New York City. You cannot make a reservation. You can't just pop in. You have to know someone to get one of the 9 tables. The tables are owned by individuals, and so they can give up their particular table on their particular night. If you are lucky enough to know someone that has a table. Great company last night. Mark Murphy, Lisa DeMaio. We had Angelo Pizzo and his lovely wife Bobby. We had David and Julie, and we just had a fantastic time. Rayos also has a very popular scene for all of you Billions fans when Bobby Axelrod takes the governor of New York to Rayos and has the restaurant to himself. I guess our server last night was also on Billions, so that was fun getting to hang out. We got hats, shirts, books. We got all the things.
Cookbook. Yep, it's very exciting. They have a great business
Oh,
model. You guys should definitely check it out. Yes. So, what do we got tonight? Well, we've got a producer that has not shown themselves, and I already saw people guessing because of the sound effects of who they
who
think
do you think it
tonight's
is?
producer. Oh yeah, I want to be Bobby Axelrod too, Ted. Definitely. Um, James. Everybody thinks it's James. Oh no, Paul says it's Luke. Producer, who do we have tonight that's going to tell us what are we going to talk about?
What's
James.
going on? We got some good guesses in the house.
I know.
You gave it
I
away. You gave
know.
it away with the early. You gave it away with the early production right off the jump. You gave that away.
Yeah.
People were like,
It
"All
was like that
right, high production. It's got to
production
be
sound.
James."
I guess
I love
so.
it.
Got my signature.
Yeah. I love it. Well, good. Well, what do we got, James? What are we talking about tonight?
We've got Abundance and Overflow coming up July 19th and 20th. We're only a few weeks away from this. I'm super excited. I actually spent some time in Nashville just a couple weeks ago. That city is popping, and it's going to be popping once BDC rolls into town. Got some amazing guests coming through: Claudio Gambin, Tyler McBroom, and we added some other folks over the past couple weeks: Alex Paykoff and maybe Mark Murphy. Is that correct? So, either way, even with those folks, Shawn Lacey is going to be a great time in Nashville.
James, correction. You said it's a couple of weeks away, and I almost had a heart attack. I was like, what month are we in? It's in July. You guys still have time to sign up. Listen, I actually saw there was quite a few signups today. I see people are getting on the Abundance and Overflow train, and I got to tell you, I'm really excited about the content that Shawn and I are putting together. But I'm more excited, especially spending the last 2 days with a bunch of people from New York in the finance world. I'm just excited for you guys to gain the knowledge around what do I do with my money once I have it. And I think that's an appropriate conversation, like especially what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about, exit strategies. You can't have a great exit strategy if it doesn't include some kind of financial plan, right? And I think that that's so vitally important for each and every one of you. And so whether you are making an extra dollar a month now or you're making an extra $100,000 a month now, you could always benefit from advice from people that understand finances in a way that you don't. And so if that's any reason for you to go to Abundance and Overflow, I mean, that's reason enough. But again, Shawn and I helping you break through the barriers of potential limiting beliefs around money is just another reason to show up. So get your tickets before it sells out. What else we got?
We've got the Get Book Solid event in Canada. Enrico,
Get, yeah. Well, how do you say that?
I don't
Can't, how do you say that village? Somebody go for it. Shawn,
Kananaskis.
huh? Can, Shawn, what do you think? How do you say it?
Kananaskis Village, Alberta, Canada. Get booked solid. I don't love that we have these like mountains in the back with all this snow. You all know that I don't go anywhere cold ever, ever, ever. July 11th and 12th, dead middle of summer, Alberta, Canada is going to be showing out. We're coming to Canada. Canadians don't love to travel. So if you have Canadian friends, make sure that they get there. I need someone from our team to post the link, please, in the chat. Listen, you guys need to get registered. If you're in the United States, come to Canada. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Look at that lineup. Brian Galkey, we haven't seen Brian in a long time. We're going to be talking about all things getting booked solid. This is not for chiropractors, although I see a lot of chiropractors up on that screen. This is for all service providers who are looking to get booked solid. Show up and show out July 11th and 12th. Enrico Dolcecore is putting this amazing event on. Yes, you do not want to miss this. He has tons of amazing surprises planned. It is going to be an absolutely amazing opportunity. Get registered now. Listen, people. Like, I know what happens. Things are getting tight and you're like cutting back. But I tell you one place you don't want to cut back on, and that's on yourself. Cut back on everybody else. Cut back on everything else that doesn't make you money. But remember, the world revolves around you. This is not. We're not inviting you on vacation. That was this past weekend. That was yesterday. 1 day vacation for Lacey and I. This is not what this is. I'm not saying come with us on vacation. Actually, though, on the 13th, we're going on vacation. I got to get from Alberta, Canada. I don't even know where Alberta is. I got to get from there to LA. We've got to be at SoFi on the 13th. We'll sort it out because we have a great team. We'll figure all of this out. Yes, Kananaskis Village, Alberta, Canada, get booked solid. Somebody put the link, please. I need you guys to be hitting that link up hard. Hit the link, get registered. You will not regret it.
And it's Kananaskis. We have quite a few people giving us the appropriate pronunciation. So I appreciate that. Jeff,
Isn't that the guy on that's the guy on Hangover, right? Kananaskis?
No. No, that's not his name. I know who you're talking about, though. What have we got next, James?
We have the Crew 52 Member of the Week.
Jennifer White, and I love it. Look at her beautifully done slide. You know that she's really good at marketing when you look at this slide with the gorgeous logo, Five and Rise there, and 2 different QR codes. I love that. You know, that actually is really great strategy because it piques your interest. You're probably like, why is there 2? Does that mean there's 2 different offers, 2 different things I could look at? I don't know. You guys should check it out. But Jennifer White has been helping our clients all over the United States, all over the world, helping them recently with marketing, and her digital marketing agency is fantastic. So you got to really check her out if you're wanting to build your brand and get more visibility. Jennifer White, y'all. I love that strategy.
Awesome. That's all we got, but of course, tonight.
Well, I think the Crew 52. If I want to just throw a piece of advice, free coaching for Crew 52. One of you, I mean, then all of a sudden they'll all do it, which is fine. It's totally fine. Somebody should give away on Crew 52. Their QR code should take people to register for a giveaway of some sort. I mean, you don't have to. We're giving away money tonight. We're giving away $300. We're drawing 3 names from the digital canasta. But hey, I'm just thinking, like, you got to get innovative. We got to figure out ways to show. To stand out, to show out, to be different. What stands out gets remembered. Man, if you were giving something away here on and then you didn't give it away on Shawn and Lacey Live, give it away through the entire week. It's your week. It's your week. So when it's your turn in Crew 52, yeah, it's your week. I'd imagine that by the end, remember, we're doing this for an entire year. I would imagine that by the end, these things get super amazing. I also saw that this episode is sponsored by Speed Fitness. Amazing news coming out of Speed Fitness. I know everybody's like, man, these investments, Shawn and Lacey, you're not missing. We're hitting on them. Yep. Speed now rolled up into Hydro. You guys know Hydro, the rowing company. Peloton tried to buy Hydro. Hydro said no. Hydro ended up acquiring Speed Fitness. Hey, listen, how that works for all of you guys that invested with us alongside of us in Speed Fitness. You now own equity. Your equity in Speed has converted to Hydro. Hydro's cruising along. They have big visions. Now we've added on power partners like Kevin Hart and Justin Timberlake. Not a bad crew to be involved with in the fitness space, along with all of the athletes that we already had on board with Speed Fitness. Hydro saw an opportunity there. Hydro has a plan that's why they didn't sell to Peloton. They want to go public. And so, yeah, once we get that rolling, I'm super excited. Listen, we give our executive partners opportunities to invest. We used to do this through Quest 7. We've gotten a little more sophisticated and greater understanding, which is another reason why, too, you should go to Abundance and Overflow. I mean, listen, we all learn from the School of Hard Knocks, and what you think or how you think the world of investing works. I mean, if you learned it from your mother or your father and you got some money in a 401k or the stock market, that's great. that is super great. There's a lot of other things that go on. And listen, Lacey and I have paid the dummy tax, and our friends have paid the dummy tax as well, to help us to get organized. One of the things too, I was just telling Lacey, I was like, Lacey, don't forget, and because Cram, oh my gosh, Cram is super well positioned as well. We're super excited for our friends at cramnutrition.com. Last day, I believe, to get in on that 25% discount. We're going to be going through a rebrand. We're going to have a lot of amazing stuff happening around abundance and overflow time. But man, Cram is getting put into all kinds of retail spaces. I mean, it's blowing up for them. You know, the difficult thing with these ventures is it's like anything. When the demand comes, they have to be able to produce. Moving from, think about this, 5,000 units of production a day, which is a lot. It's a lot of little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. 5,000 units a day. They've got to move to 35,000 a day to fulfill these orders. That means that we're going to be moving eventually. Right now, all of you that got in on this, all of you, listen, we got you in on a friends and family round of a brand that has the potential to be sold and be big time. But now we're going to have to be big boys and girls, and we're going to be probably looking at a Series A raise coming up in 2025. We were looking for a bridge of $50,000. I posted that out in the Black Diamond Club group. Any of you that might want to come in, I think that we filled half of that. Look for a $25,000 bridge. People are like, what do you need the $25,000 for? Well, I just told you, we've got 5,000 sandwiches and a day. And we need 35,000 because all these big grocery stores are like, hey man, let's get some Cram in our stores, as people are talking about it. People are starting to understand what's going on. And listen, we haven't even started really marketing yet. I mean, just sort of grassroots dumb marketing. Wait until this summer when we step on the gas and we start pouring the gas on that. We've got some really great initiatives planned from the marketing side. You're getting in at the right time if you are in with us in
This
Cram.
is this is a good I think this is a good segue because I think it's really important. You know, we're talking about exit strategy tonight, right? Is that the topic? It's exit strategy. So when we look at investments too, that's one thing that you always ask the owners of these companies, isn't that right?
Yeah, well, I asked Ruth and Austin, what's the plan here? How do we get out of this? And so we've already had a couple of major players, kicking the tires over there at Cram. And so, yeah, we're super excited about that. Let's start, though, with this because that is the question that we asked. Let's start, though, with this because we're talking today to service providers.
Right.
And one of the hardest things when we talk about succession planning or an exit strategy is the mental side of kind of getting out, right? So, look, you guys all provide a service to humanity. It is so extremely valuable. And hopefully, you love doing it. Like, you're like, this is great. I'm the best at this. But then somewhere in your career, if you haven't had this realization yet, good for you. Don't worry. At some point, most of us will be like, man, I don't know that I can do this forever. It sounds good when you're 20, 30, maybe even 40, and then you get in your 50s and 60s and you're like, man, I should probably have a plan. Which also, too, the second part of this discussion needs to center on, well, if you're going to decide that when you're 60, that's kind of too late. But let's talk about then that bridge. What happens is people are like, yeah, but I feel bad. I feel bad about getting out of my own business. Who's going to take care of the people? Who's going to do as good of a job as I do? And I know that a lot of people have asked you about that, Lacey. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, first off, I think that it's important that no matter what business you get in, you decide what the end goal is. I think we need to start there because again, it's difficult to change your mindset and your service heart if you don't even know what you're trying to change it for. And I think that's vitally important. So I would say that number one, you figure out what the end goal is. And so many of you have started businesses, and when you're in startup mode, all you can think about is what am I doing to get this going instead of what am I doing because what am I trying to achieve at the very end. That's a scary thought for a lot of people. And so whenever we're involved in businesses or we are starting businesses, we're always starting them and executing with the end in mind. I already know, and Shawn already knows what we want to do with Well Infused. We know that we are building that company to sell it. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So you got to think about, what are you doing with your business? Do you eventually want to sell your business? Do you eventually want to grow it and have a bunch of people under you that maybe you bring in as partners in your business? Would you like a private equity firm to buy it? Would you like to leave it to your children? What are you trying to do with your business? And so I think you got to start there before you can even start to shift the mindset.
Well, yeah, the starting there, figuring out what it looks like in the end, never fun. And again, always changing. It's always variable. Like whatever you think it is, it might not end up there. I mean, even look for us at Well Infused, probably doesn't end up there. You can't predict the future, but
Right.
it is a good thing to have an understanding of where you do want it to go as you're prepping it. But what about the difficulty then of letting go? It's kind of like you're, what do you like kind of abandoning your own baby.
But are you? Not if, I mean, if you had a child and your ultimate goal was to teach them everything that you could and have them learn lessons and arm them with, great morals and information, and create them and put them in an environment to where they could be the most successful the second that they turn 18, and then you let them loose. Are you abandoning them? No, what you did is you actually curated and did everything that you could along the way in order to execute on the end goal, which was creating a loving, caring, successful adult, right? And so why is it any different with your business? If the goal is to create a business that's so fruitful that you can sell it for a 10x multiplier and be taken care of for the rest of your life, why would you not think of it within the same way? It's not abandoning, it's I did everything up until this point to create the perfect moment to actually hand this off, right?
Yes, indeed. And now let's talk about then what you would want to do on the strategic, then moving into the tactical side. So, one, on the strategy, you brought up a good point. I need to figure out kind of how I want this to end. Play the game with the end in mind. And even if it doesn't end up that way, you can play the game with the end in mind. Listen, even
Yeah.
if you're like, I'm going to work until the day I die, well, that's fine. We can play the game with that as the end outcome. I don't love that though, because look, you build this strong business, you're servicing all these people, and then when you die, the business dies with you. I heard you say, like, am I going to leave it to my kids? Why leave it to your kids? Who says that they're just as good as you at doing the thing that you do? If there's someone else out there that's just as good as you, why not figure out a way to get it into their hands? Because it actually better serves the people that you serve. It serves them better. And the worst thing that you could do is just one day die, and then all of the people that you serve, I mean, what happens to them? They're just left hanging, and that's not very responsible. It's not very nice either. It seems very egotistical and self-serving to just say, I'm going to serve all of y'all until I die. And when I die, well, then y'all are on your own, right? That's why you want to have systems and processes in place. Having said that, then I think that, if you are looking to sell your business, and one of the things we will talk about at Abundance and Overflow, one thing that we did is we had a stop in at our CPA's office in Manhattan on Monday, sat with them, talked a little bit of strategy. And even again, I got to tell you, we all think that, Shawn and Lacey, they know so much. They may be just, 100 yards ahead of you in this race, but we don't know everything. And listen, along the way, you meet people on the path who give you advice. And what happens is they give you advice based off of where you are on the path. Many times, then that person drops off. I talk a lot about this. I think this is so important. This is a sign of business maturity. Those people who know this, and then immature people that just literally, it's predictable. They cannot get ahead because they play a very emotional game. But here's
Mm.
literally what happens. You're on a path. You meet people along the path. So like there's these people standing on the side of the road, and I'm like, what do you guys do? And they're like, specifically for today, they're lawyers, they are financial advisors, and they are accountants. they're all three standing there in a group and they're like, hey, we can help you. And so they tell you, they look at where you are on the path and they give you advice. They tell you how to structure entities and holding companies, and they tell you about different tax advantages that you might have by structuring a certain way, by taking certain deductions, by making certain investments. They talk to you about where you think you want to be, where you think you're going on this path, and they give you advice. And then you take the advice, you implement, and then you continue on the path. And what happens is because you continue down the path, you forget. I met that CPA 2 miles back when I was in a different spot. I was in a whole different spot. Some of you might have crossed a state line. Some of you might have gone through immigrations and customs and you're in a whole other country and your needs change. And then what happens is you find out like, hey man, like I set all of this stuff up a certain way to help me and serve me back then. But it doesn't help me and serve me now because I've advanced on the path. And you look around and those advisors are no longer there. Why? Because you left them 2 miles behind. Then you find
Right.
another huddle of people who are more advanced and they give you new knowledge. Well, that doesn't mean that the old people were idiots. And what happens is a lot of times I see this. People receive the new knowledge and then they chastise the people that were 2 miles back. And this is the mistake because you don't understand that that was advice that was given to you for where you were at that time. And now you need new advice. This is why you need to show up at Abundance and Overflow. This is why everybody in that room is going to hear the content differently. I mean, we're talking about hearing from people that are managing literally billions of dollars with a B in the stock market. We're talking about people who are managing multiple billions of dollars in their clients as far as accounting is concerned, and everything from startups to multi-billionaires. We're going to hear from a family office that runs the world's largest bottling company of water. I mean, they're not lacking. They're not in startup mode, but you can hear these things and apply it to where you are on the path. And this is one of the things that Lacey and I learned just on Monday when we were sitting with our accounting firm and, contemplating and thinking about the ways that we have structured our businesses. And listen, so if you're like, oh, shoot, I hate Shawn and Lacey, they're going to change. No, 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 because what you did was good for you at the moment. And maybe most of
Yeah.
you are still in the moment because you didn't apply, execute, and advance. But when you do advance, I'm telling you, the name of the game changes. The rules of the game changes. You need different sets of eyes and different sets of advice on that. So having said all of that, I think it's very wise that you think about how would I structure, set up my business. A lot of you right now, when it comes to taxes, the whole name of the game for you is pay as little tax as possible, which, I mean, who wouldn't have that as the name of the game? But if we're trying to sell our business, if that is our exit strategy, do you really want to show on a P&L that you make no money? Because then the
Mhm.
value of your company is diminished because of things that you did based off advice that you were given. And so many people are like, hey, now, Shawn, I have to sell. And I look at your books and I'm like, but unfortunately, your business doesn't seem to be worth very much. And they're like, oh no, but wait a minute. I put my 2-ton truck on my books. And I'm like, right, but see, the people buying it, are they going to get the 2-ton truck? So they can't understand that you've done this. And also, too, they probably are thinking, why did you do that? Like, that's
Do
interesting.
that.
So now, so now, can I trust the veracity of every other line item in this P&L? Listen, big decisions. And remember, there's no one right way to do anything, no one right way to do anything. But if you are trying to sell, I think it's critical that we think about your entity formation and the way that your books get structured right from the jump.
Yeah. We have a great question from Spencer. He said, how do you transition when you do something very niche? Now, I'm going to have you answer that, but I just want to say one thing. It's like a little bit of a tough love moment because I think, our chiropractic offices, what we do is very, very niche, right? We're very few practice the way that we do. I saw Amy Spolstra on here earlier. What she does is very, very niche, right? Spencer obviously does something that's very niche. Here's what I would say. If you end up at the end of this road and you can't transition or transfer your business, you haven't fully done your job. Your job when you do something niche that impacts the world in such a profound way is get obsessed about how you can teach it to others. Honestly, right? And so I would say, I mean, it's harder to transition, but if you obsess every day the same way you do over honing in your own skill set on how can I transfer the knowledge of this skill set to others, that's when we make the impact, and then the transition is easy. And so I want to encourage you, all of you out there that do something that's unique and impactful and you feel like you're the only person that can do it great right now, let's break free of that mindset and say I'm the only person that can teach others how to do it great right now. And I think that's powerful. That's it. What you got, Shawn?
Yeah, I mean, again, shout out to Amy Spolstra. Like you mentioned, I've been very fortunate to have worked with Amy for a very long time. I don't even know how long, years I've worked with Amy. And shout out to Amy for figuring out how to teach this. And now she has 2 locations, right? So it's very teachable.
Right.
Shout out to Dave Pascal, another executive partner client who for the very first time is going to be teaching his allergy protocols. This is super niche. He has this very unique protocol, and listen, we've gotten him to teach it. If you want information on either one of those programs, reach out to them. Skip Weiss, another one, very niche, pediatrics, family practice, and he teaches, right? So teaching. Here's the thing, though, and
Eric
I
McCoskey's
really
in
hope that you
here.
all get.
Very niche. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
The McCoskies are holding a summer camp at their office, right? Again, you can see, oh my gosh, I can see like, I see what you guys are doing. Listen, you could pay us for coaching and we'll hold your hand. You could show up on every live and kind of connect the dots. Holding the hands better, connecting the dots, it can work. But here's the thing. I always tell all of my clients this, so to Spencer, here's my answer, Spencer. Would you agree, Spencer, that one intelligent human being can teach another intelligent human being how to do almost anything? And that's the thing. We get so hung up, and I get it. I get it. We get so hung up on the thing I do is so niche. Nobody can do it. No, no, no. Nobody's been taught it, right? You can
Mhm.
do it. And listen, let's be honest. What's so special about you? Like, do you have magical powers? Are you a superhuman? No. So somehow you learn this. And check this out. You learn this probably without much instruction. So imagine that we took an intelligent human being and we gave them formalized didactic instruction on how to do the thing. And then we coupled that with experience and mentorship. They would learn it a lot faster and potentially a lot better than you. And I say that, so many times when you do a specialty thing, what you say is, well, I can't have a succession plan because there's nobody else that knows how to do what I do. To which I'm like, right, but you didn't teach anybody to do it. So if we roll back to when before you knew how to do it, there literally was nobody who knew how to do what you do. So yes, we kind of have to suppress the ego a little bit. And if we want to have scale, a lot of you would be very well served to get into the business of teaching how to be you. And you know what? The other thing, people are like, I'm not going to teach people how to be me because then there will be competition. Right. But also, you know what would happen? There would be greater awareness. You wouldn't always be
Awareness.
swimming upstream because people would, I mean, and people are that beginning to understand with Amy's work, looking for focused practitioners. Why? Because now there's many of them, right? So awareness increases and then demand increases. And if you're teaching it, then I always tell all of my clients, look, if you are the originator of the thing, everybody wants to work and receive mentorship from you. You have a unique advantage because people want to go to the source. You want to train with the master. You don't want to train with a third generation learner who's adapted and modified it. You want to go to the source. So yes, almost every skill set in the world can be taught.
And that's what I was going to say. I think you had such a great point, and I don't want people to feel like it was attacking, because it's not, but you said suppress the ego. That's not just for like people like us, that what we do is niche, in chiropractic specifically. But that's for
Even in well
everybody that
infused.
says, yeah, the well infused is very niche, and so we have to suppress the ego ourselves and say we want to teach this because we want to make impact. But that goes for anything in any business, because there's tasks that other people have skill set in that you just say to yourself, I'm going to do it because nobody could do it as good as me, whether it's niche or not. Sometimes we live in that energy, and you have to be able to say to yourself, no, I do it so well, I need to be able to figure out how to better transfer my knowledge. And so I think that that's really an important, applicable idea and thought process for all things you do in your business, whether they're niche or not. That's why systems are so important. Love
The
it.
last thing, and then I want to draw these names here, but I want to just hit on real quick succession planning. When you serve on the board of a larger organization, succession planning is a very big deal. So you spend a lot of time thinking about, when you're on the board, on the operations side, succession planning. What happens if somebody quits, or God forbid there's an accident? The whole operation can't go down. But listen, for a lot of you, this is something that people just really don't think about. And one, if something were to happen to you, are you positive that your significant other and your team know exactly what they are supposed to do? Or is it supposed to just be utter chaos while they figure this out? Because nobody bothered to talk about it, because you thought it would be funny for them to not only have to deal with the emotional part of this loss, but you're gonna strap them with all of this business chaos. That's not responsible. The other thing, though, is the financial side of this. Again, another reason that you need to be at abundance and overflow. What about life insurance, disability insurance? These are very important things to have considered in succession planning that can catch you off guard. Listen, I know that very few people are going to be like, yeah, I'm going to get on that tonight. Very few people are going to get registered for abundance and overflow tonight. Those are the same people that something happens and they are underfunded on their life insurance. They have never had a discussion. And I got to tell you, it sucks watching the family super struggle because you did not have a succession plan. And I got to tell you, I mean, again, Lacey will sugarcoat this a little bit, but let me give you the pit. That's not very loving for you to say that you love your family, you love this work, but you had no succession plan. And your plan, literally, as you go to bed tonight, was just to leave everybody in chaos should the show just come to a screeching halt tomorrow. So listen, abundance and overflow will be full of ideas, strategies, and thoughts around succession planning, asset protection. Are you just going to let all of your assets go to the state? We're going to pay all of these taxes. I mean, we're going to get all of your assets stuck in probate. All of these things because you just never really took the time to create a plan. This is your call to action, my friends. Get registered for abundance and overflow. If you and your team and your significant other and your family don't know right now, what would we do if something happened? Well, you probably should be signing up with a quickness.
I love it. All right. Great question, Spencer. Thank you so much. All right. Shall we draw some names?
Let's do it.
James. Let's do it.
All right. 30
You got
You
seconds
the
on
guys
the
clown.
know how
clock.
this works. We're going to draw 3 names. Make sure that you've tested out your chat. When your name appears, you have exactly 30 seconds to claim your prize. Tonight, the prize is $300. We're drawing 3 names. If no one claims the prize tonight, we'll let it roll to $400 next week. But let's not do that. Let's get a prize winner right now.
And I love it. I can't see. Somebody's going to have to help us
Boom!
out.
Winner.
Joe
Oh, Joe.
Beeshay.
Was Joe on? Joe. I saw
Joe.
Dawn and Julie, but I don't know if I saw Joe.
Oh no.
I love it. Joe B.
I didn't know it was Joe B.
Joe B.
Joe B.
Joe B.
Joe B.
Joe B.
Joe B. No. No, Joe. Dawn said no, Joe.
No.
We have a
Brother
no,
Don.
Joe. Joe. We have
This
a
flag
Where's
coming
Joe?
out with the no Joe.
No Joe.
Man.
Yeah, everybody's saying, why does he have a B in there? His family's
I don't
saying,
know.
why does he have a
Super
B?
weird. Isn't that strange? G.I. Joe? That is, I don't know what the B is. Does anybody know what the B is? Too slow, Joe? This is good. Oh,
Unfortunately,
no, Joe.
Joe, you have let the $300 slip through your fingers, and we're going
Yes.
to offer that to another willing participant, somebody who wants to claim their $300. Let her rip, James.
Joe Blow from Kokomo. Let's
Ooh,
go.
Oh, I
I
saw
saw
Sudan.
Sudan.
I saw
Ooh,
Lexi. Hey,
Lexi.
she
Ooh,
won
Oh,
before,
man.
didn't she?
I saw Cassidy, too.
she
Shoeless
did.
Joe Jackson. The Joes are great. Lexi. Oh, man. Lexi is fantastic. She is a BDC
Yeah.
master member, always asks great questions, just had an amazing, fantastic grand opening party for her office.
Yeah.
Lexi, also Lexi no Rexy.
Yeah, she won a few
So,
weeks ago.
she did?
I thought so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lexi won. Lexi won.
See?
Just not so
Oh,
long ago.
James
James
Taylor.
Taylor, that's not a fake name. He already won. That's pretty impressive to get called again.
Yeah,
I
that
tell you.
my hang on, everybody. Time out. I need a
What are you timing
timeout
out? Why?
because I'm so far behind on my transmission here. What's going on?
I don't know, but I'm good, and I think James is probably
All right,
good.
you're good. All right, well, I'm out.
Just
I'm
close
out
it
on
out and go
the shoot. All right, I'm out.
All right.
You guys control the automatron.
close it out and go back in. Yeah, you're good. All right,
You
one
guys can
name
you just
left.
say if there's a winner. Last name.
All right, your winner.
Here we go.
Let's go. Ooh, I saw
Oh, I
Enrico. I
saw
just talked to
Nathan
him
Fisher. I
tonight.
saw Rico.
Caleb
Caleb Paxton.
Paxton. Caleb.
Caleb Paxton.
Oh man,
Where you at, Caleb?
Jen White.
You love to
Jen
cheer
White.
when they win. They can't see.
Jennifer White thinks that we should pull all the winners out of the canasta till everybody has a chance to win.
That would even still
thought.
take
Yeah,
a
but
long
then at the
time.
end, what would happen is at the end of the whole thing, we would have one viewer.
Yeah, that's true. People would stop showing up because they're like, my name's no longer in the canasta. Well, I don't know. James
Yeah,
feels like his
everyone's
name's no
name
longer
is
in the
in
canasta.
the
He'll still
canasta.
show up. Mm-hmm. But you see your name go by. There's lots of new names that goes by every week. The digital canasta is showing up. Yeah, I like it. Well, no winners tonight, everybody. That means next week we're going to be drawing for $400. And as always, let us know if you want us to talk about a specific topic. All you got to do is hit up James. He picks the topics, we show up, and we talk. That's how it goes. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us with Shawn and Lacey Live. Get those plans in place and get your butts to abundance and overflow. We hope to see you there. Have a nice night.